Welcome back, guys. Today we're doing the box. The 46 didn't look like a truck. We need to make it look like a truck. We're putting a box on it. I already got a head start on it, and I'm using reproduction panels from Pros Pick in Ontario, Canada. They basically bend up everything in-house, and what I've done is you can buy complete beds from these guys. I only bought my side panels and I bought 2 front panels. So, that's a front panel. And I didn't bother with a tailgate because once I mount a parachute to this thing, the tailgate won't be functional anyway. So this is just a front panel. And right now I just have it flipped around just so I can clamp it, but it will be flipped around the other way. Because what I'm going to go for is kind of like a smooth look. I'm going to weld all the way down the corners. It'll just be flush, and I like the flush look. Right now, this is all just sitting on jack stands, and I've actually got it all shimmed up with washers, so it's sitting level, it's square, it's right where I want it, and I've gone ahead and notched out where the axle is going to be. All I used was a hole saw to drill at the top. It's like a 4.5 inch hole saw, and then cut the rest over the grinder. So the biggest challenge right now is the back. Trying to get the back exactly like I want it. The front is just going to bolt in. Once I put tabs down here on the frame, the front panel is just going to sit on top of those tabs. And the way these trucks are from factory is they actually bolt in along here. Right, the panel on the inside has the bolt holes already there. So I just got to drill the holes here. Once this has a roll cage, this box is going to be hard to take on and off. I basically have to make it 2 pieces. So the front panel, as much as I want a smooth look and not have to bolt it in, I need to be able to, if I ever have to remove the box, I can't do it with the front panel attached, because with the down bars coming out, you can't get around it. So it's had to take a little bit of thinking it out how I'm going to do it, but having the front panel basically removable is the best way to get the box on and off. Now, the rear, I've had to try to figure out how I'm going to finish this area off. Obviously, there's not going to be a bumper on this truck. When I flip this panel around, yes, it's going to look all nice and smooth up here, but then you got this unfinished business down here. And I have to put a license plate somewhere. So what I've done is I picked up a roll pan for a Chevy Colorado. Okay, there it is unwrapped. Obviously, this is much taller than this area here. And it's wider than it needs to be. So I got to trim this guy shorter. Then we're going to set it down in place. And I'm actually going to shorten up this guy. A buddy of mine has access to a brake. We're going to put a bend in this. And we're going to make this panel shorter so that that roll pan can fit up here to make it look right. And it gives us a place to put our license plate. Okay, so I had to cut off 3¼ inches off each side in order to make the roll pan fit inside the width of the box. And then I trimmed that lip off, most of it anyway. I left a little bit just to keep it straight. And notched out the ends a bit, just so when they put it in the brake, it's got room to give, because that piece coming up might hit the part of the brake that comes down on it. So I just trimmed off most of it. Got my line painted where we're gonna bend it, and hopefully it all works, because I don't feel like buying another one. Okay, I'm gonna run out right now and get this thing bent up. All right, we're back. We're gonna get bent up. You can see how much we ended up bending. And I now need to cut off this excess. So I've already drew my line. Gonna slice that off, and we'll get this stuff all tacked together. Oh, that looks so good. I was nervous about how this was going to turn out. I'm not wild about how this bottom finishes off, but I actually do, I'm able to still round this off more yet. There's just, it's a little bit of extra material there, but I can just round that off yet. But yeah, I was wondering how it was going to look with the roll pan coming that far up and only having such a little amount of, we'll still call this tailgate, left. But it works. I like it. And once this is welded in solid and all smoothed out, I mean, it'll look even better. But I am very happy with how that turned out. And on the inside, I left this lip that was on the roll pan because it actually has like bolt holes that I can use to hang the back of the box with. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically a piece of tubing coming off the back and on that side as well, and that's how we'll tie the box in to the frame. And on the front, again, I'm just going to put a small piece of angle iron welded to the frame here underneath, and the box will just sit on top of that piece of angle. So next I got to drill all my holes here. The other side, I'm going to be running angle iron along the top edge of the box on both sides. So I got to drill a bunch of holes in that as well, just so I can spot weld it. And I know I said I was going for a smooth look, which I am, but this truck being from 1946, there's a certain character that these trucks carry with them. And I want to keep that character. So I picked up these guys along with the box sides, and this all came from Pros Pick. So these, I think they call them stake pockets. They just mount to the side like that. So I mean, I could just leave it smooth, but I think that just looks too plain. So I've got stake pockets for the front and back. So what I have to do with these guys, instead of drilling holes on the outside and spot welding them on, I'm going to basically trace this out on the outside of the box, and then I'm going to drill holes on this panel and weld it from the inside. So on the outside, this is all you're going to see. You won't see any of the weld marks. You'll still see bolt holes up here, which might look a little sloppy, but that's how all these trucks looked back then. And like I said, with my roll cage, that's my only real option for getting the box on and off the truck. So I got some drilling to do. So it's actually been a couple days. Basically, I picked away at this thing over the last couple nights sporadically. And I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And I'll show you. I traced out where the stake pocket's going to be, drilled all my holes. I drilled the holes in the side panel and bolted it to the front. So that's where we can take it apart. Whenever we want to take the box off, we just separate the front panel from the rest. I have pieces of angle iron welded to both sides with a bolt in it right now. And the back, I had some 1.25" tubing that I ran out with a little piece of flat plate on the back, and I used those mounting holes that I was talking about. So right now the jack stands are out of the way, and this thing is fully supported and solid. I mean, the sides are a little floppy. I do have to support these, but I think these are the angle irons that I drilled a whole bunch of holes in that I was going to weld to the inside of the bed. I may still weld them on, not right now. I'm a little pressed for time because this truck has to be loaded up tomorrow for its roll cage. So I just have to get basically the bare minimum for now done on this thing tonight, so that I can take it off and send it off to have the cage done. I told the guy I was going to leave the bed off just to make it easier for him to work on it. Yeah, so all I'm going to do tonight to finish this off is I'm going to weld on the stake pockets, and that's going to wrap up the box for now. And I mean, the other reason why I don't want to weld those pieces of angle iron on the inside is because I have been toying with the idea of just buying the Zeus rails, which are a thinner gauge steel than that. They are significantly lighter than that angle iron, but by doing that, they've already predetermined where your Zeus fasteners are going to be, and it might not work for where I need them to be. So I'm gonna wait, and once I get everything kind of laid out later in this project, then I'll know whether I can get away with Zeus rails or if I have to use angle iron and just weld on my own fasteners where I need them. That might be the way I go, but I'm just not going to rush it because there's no need to have those angle irons welded inside the bed just yet. So gonna get these guys all welded in right now. I've already cleaned off the back sides. Get this thing finished up. Well, it's a little smoky in here. I had to open the door, but the pockets are on. And see, there's very minimal burning that comes through when you do it. So, I mean, when it comes to doing the body work, it's a lot easier just to quickly buzz that flat with a flap disc and not to sit there with filler or welding it all in. And yeah, the inside doesn't have to look as pretty because no one will ever see it. So with having all the weld marks on the inside, makes body work later a lot quicker. But I'm digging the whole pocket look. Like I said, it looks a little bit more period correct. Now the original 46 pockets, box pockets, like the stake pockets, they actually have a contour to them. They curve. Aftermarket ones are much easier to produce when they're just a straight bend, and that's what these are. They're very simple, straightforward. But I like it. I like it. It looks a little bit more old farm truck like, even though this seems to be the furthest thing from a farm truck. I like it. So that's it for tonight. I'm going to consider the box done for now. it needs to be removed so that we can get this thing ready for the cage. But that'll be tomorrow night. It's time to go in the house. So I'll see you later.